Yeah, I just wanted to talk about what's happening now astrologically and, about the divine feminine and divine masculine writing itself on this planet. And I just saw an incredible post that an astrologer did, um, which is about the most evil, malefic star, fixed star, Algol, which is there's going to be a conjunction with Saturn and Mars and that in an Algol in, I think it was Saturn and Mars. But anyway, this conjunction hasn't been with Algol hasn't been in these planets since 1940, 1941, 1942. So this is, Nazism, World War II, and the fight against evil. And that's what we're having again now. We are having a battle, certainly in America, for the soul of America. And there's been a rise in uh, fascist regimes, repressive regimes, and war to fight. It's fighting. These things are fighting the ascension of Earth and the rise of divine feminine. I like to say all the witches are reincarnated now, like ready for this battle. Starseeds, all the witches, and there's a lot of activity, and a lot of people are working in the other side for fairness, equality, and justice across the board. And of course, the those evil forces, of capitalism, corruption, of the patriarchy, is trying to enforce through repression and oppression and laws to keep these structures in place. But what this woman said is just when, oh, it's Uranus. That's it. Uranus was one of the planets. Did I say that? Uranus, which is a planet of disruption and change. When that hits the fixed star, Algol, that's, you know, so we can't see everything that is happening now. Like, things aren't what they seem. There's a lot happening under the surface. And I'm telling you, like, this Trump fiasco, no way. Like, this is not America. This is not the world. And the other thing, which is so insane, is that how men's transgressions, men's extreme transgressions are always overlooked under the patriarchy, always overlooked. And that, somebody with all these indictments, felony charges, and who is a, corrupt individual, that's okay. Well, he's a man. That's okay as a man. And, convicted rapist. And now it's coming out with the Jeffrey Epstein, chronicles, accounts of 12 and 13-year-old girls raped by Trump. And I think that there was death threats. Why these didn't come forward, because people were threatened if they brought these um, realities forward. But why don't people care? Like Trumpers, like, why don't you care that he's a corrupt criminal and a rapist? And yet you still back him. And yet a woman is held accountable for every little transgression. The way her hair looks, that's like, she's held accountable. For the tone of her voice, she's held accountable. And something that's in my personal thing, which I'm dealing with, is I have a very ambitious divine feminine novel and a TV series, which I market through social media. And I've really had a lot of pushback from family, friends, community, people that really disapprove of the way I go about my project, and even the basis of my project, and it's past life recall. Like, I can read the Akashic records, and it's is about divine feminine and divine masculine, and it's about courtesans, and it's about some pretty intense female sexuality, which, oh, it's so scandalous for, me to talk about that, to write about that, to promote things along those themes. Why? Like, my question is, and because I'm, a wife and a mother, like, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that as a wife and a mother. I'm married into a big Catholic clan, and a lot of people don't approve of what I do. And but like a woman is always censured by the clan, by the in-laws, by the mother-in-law, by her children. You can't do that because you're a mother. Whereas that never, like, Trump is a big rapist, divorced his wives, terrible father, Mick Jagger, any of them, Bon Jovi, any of those dudes, they like had hundreds of affairs, slept with whoever while married, while fathers, while portraying themselves sexually on stage, and it was all okay. Like, nobody said anything. They were just gods. They were gods among men. Whereas Taylor Swift gets censured so much, called a bad role model. She's had like, she's had like 10 boyfriends. She's an incredible role model and gives back. Like, this is an example of what women would do if they make so much money. She gives to food banks. I mean, she's like saving economies, saving people's lives, giving away money to people that work for her. Women would give back. The men are going to just hoard. They just hoard all their money for themselves and their corrupt schemes. But so it's just, this is all happening, this big flip. And, I'm part of it, and a lot of people are part of it. Men are part of it too, where we're writing the balance, this kind of evil grip that the patriarchy has had, that these corrupt men that run the world through violence, corruption, power, genocide, slaughter, violence, death threats. And, oh, that's just okay. And like, why? Like, in America, why don't people care that in a third of the states, women can't get abortions? A 12-year-old, a 10-year-old that is raped and is impregnated can't get an abortion. And the men are just like scot-free, like whoever did the raping. There's never any charge for raping, never. Incest, never. Never. That never gets found out, or some preacher somewhere. It never gets found out. And so women are constantly held accountable for the crimes of men, for the sins of men. And I realized that I was like censoring myself. And I'm not going to, because as a woman, as a mother, I have the rights to be a full person and a full artist, just like a man does. Just like a man does. And women should not be held to a tighter, stricter standard of morality. Well, men should be more like women, frankly. Men should be held to a tighter and stricter morality. That's really what it's about. And women should be allowed the freedoms to express their voice, their histories, their stories, uncensored. Women telling the truth, women taking over power, women making money with their businesses, their companies, their divine feminine TV series, and giving back to the world and saving different groups of people that need saving and helping people. This is what's going to save the world. Women are going to save the world. And they're trying to hold that back. So anyway, this is like this fixed star, Algol meeting Uranus, and it's game over for the evil patriarchy. Game over for Trump. Just, it's game over.